and a unique dance style taking center stage and changing lives. Next on PBS NewsHour Weekend.
PBS NewsHour Weekend is made possible by Bernard and Irene Schwartz, Sue and Edgar Wackenheim III, the Cheryl and Philip Milstein family, the JPB Foundation, Rosalind P. Walter, in memory of George O'Neill, Barbara Hope Zuckerberg. Corporate funding is provided by Mutual of America, designing customized individual and group retirement products. That's why we're your retirement company. Additional support has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. From the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center in New York, Hari Sreenivasan.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The investigation into the death by apparent suicide of Jeffrey Epstein continues. The 66-year-old multimillionaire convicted sex offender was being held in a federal prison in New York City on charges of sex trafficking when he was found in cardiac arrest in his cell and declared dead shortly after. The medical examiner's office conducted an autopsy today, but as of late this afternoon, the results were not yet public. The New York Times reported that according to a law enforcement official, Epstein was alone in a special housing unit cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center and was not checked on by guards every 30 minutes as required. Conspiracy theories about Epstein's death erupted across social media last night. With no evidence and immediate condemnation, President Trump retweeted one that suggested Epstein's death was not suicide and was somehow connected to former President Bill Clinton. The chief federal prosecutor in New York said yesterday that Epstein's death does not end the investigation. August in Iowa means it's time for the annual state fair, also the unofficial kickoff for the presidential campaign season. Over the weekend, a parade of Democratic presidential hopefuls aimed to make an impression on Iowa voters who will hold the first nominating contest on February 3rd. Candidates engage in the usual fair activities, holding babies, eating fried food, and delivering stump speeches. But much of the weekend was devoted to a more serious topic on voters' minds, the mass shootings that left 31 people dead in Texas and Ohio last weekend. More than a dozen candidates attended a forum on gun control yesterday, organized by the group Everytown for Gun Safety. Many expressed support for proposals like universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban. We'll have more news later in the program. For more on the immigration issue and the rift between the Trump administration and Democrats, visit pbs.org/newshour. This weekend saw Democratic presidential candidates and even the lone Republican challenger to President Trump, former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, racing to event after event in Iowa. Meanwhile, the president reportedly raised $12 million at fundraisers on Friday night and then began his vacation at his golf club in New Jersey, a vacation that includes a barrage of tweets and retweets. NewsHour Weekend special correspondent Jeff Greenfield is here now to talk about all that and more political news. To say that the president retweeting a conspiracy theory connecting the Clintons to the death of Jeffrey Epstein is a surprise? Not so much. I mean,
in one sense, you could say, what else is new? But still, when you read something like that, this president accusing another president of complicity in murder, you know, that's what we think other countries were like when they would jail or execute political opponents. And the barriers that are not just pushed but crashed, combined once again, you know, with the massive silence of his own party, in one sense, I think just leaves you as though you've been poleaxed. It's like, did I really read that?
Yeah.
Am I really hearing this from a president of the United States? The sheer overreach, in some sense, protects him because you almost literally can't believe it. It's at a, we don't know how to get our heads around it.
Yeah. Well, let's get our heads around actual news that did matter this week, that was substantive and oftentimes is ignored by the tweet stream and these kinds of spectacles.
I think one of the big stories was the fact that Sue Gordy, the deputy DNI, Director of National Intelligence, was forced out of her job by her boss, who is himself being pushed aside, Dan Coates, because the president doesn't trust the intelligence he gets or he doesn't like it when it contradicts his ideas. Now, Sue Gordy is the kind of person that a government should embrace. Both party intelligence experts really respect her. They wanted her to get the chief job. We also saw a scientist in the Department of Agriculture quit because he wasn't permitted to present evidence that climate change was having an effect on nutrients like rice. And we've heard the FBI saying, you know, we really want to focus on domestic terrorism, by which they mean white nationalist terrorism. But we're really uncomfortable if that's going to affect somehow people in the president's base. And what's the common theme? That people in power don't want to hear facts that challenge their premises. And whether it's been Vietnam or Iraq or God knows how many other examples, when people in power don't want to hear evidence that may force them to change their mind, you got a problem.
This weekend, we also saw every Democratic candidate running around, and obviously Bill Weld as well. You know, they're eating turkey wings at the state fair and whatever else they have to do in Iowa. But you also see a steady drip of stories over the past few days on Joe Biden and their verbal gaffes. Again, in the context of the tweets and so forth that we were just talking about, they pale in comparison. But what's the net result?
The problem, and I think normally I'm inclined to say, come on, you know, this is hype. But there are times when these events have a political impact, and that is when they tend to reinforce a stereotype anyway. So, for instance, when Gerald Ford, the most athletic president we ever had, pro football player at times, had a few trips, and Chevy Chase of Saturday Night Live turned it into, I guess, a meme, that all of a sudden he was a klutz. So for Biden, you know, what's a dilemma? He's old. And an otherwise unmemorable slip, particularly if they're a couple, begins to raise that question since it's there anyway in the political firmament. And so I hate to sound superficial about this, but those things can matter.
All right, Jeff Greenfield, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Next week marks the 50th anniversary of one of the iconic cultural events of America's last half-century, the 3 days of peace and music that came to be known as Woodstock. One artist who came to prominence at the festival went on to become a multi-platinum sensation with a string of hits, including one of the best-selling albums of all time, Supernatural. We're talking about musician Carlos Santana. In the conclusion of our two-part series on the guitar legend, PBS NewsHour Weekend's Tom Casciato speaks with Santana not only about history's most famous music festival, but also the road that took him there.
In this year of commemorations for 72-year-old Carlos Santana, it's instructive to know that the path he set out on as a boy in Mexico didn't begin with the guitar.
What happened was that my father's a musician. When I saw how people, specifically women, looked at my dad when he played the violin and when he sang, I looked at them and I looked at him and I was like, whoa. My dad would draft me once in a while. He would say, you know, so-and-so, it's not as good. Put on this mariachi suit. But I couldn't get a sound on the violin. I didn't like the way I sounded. I didn't like the way the violin smelled. And I didn't like the way it felt. But I tried to please my dad as much as I could. And I won 2 or 3 contests in the fairs, playing Fascination. So they gave me the trophy, you know.
That's not bad for a guy who didn't like the smell of the violin.
Exactly, but I had to do it to please my dad. But eventually he saw that, you know, I was crying a lot. And so I told him, I don't want to play the violin, I want to play the guitar.
You could say right then that the world of popular music would never be the same. But that was a few years away yet. For a time, Santana did whatever he could to help his father support his mom and siblings.
Whether it was washing dishes or playing the violin, because we have a big family, and that's what took a little longer for me to become a full musician. I was a weekend musician. They wash dishes or do something. When you're a full-time musician, you sound differently and you walk differently. And for me, music is an invitation to visit your spirituality and visit your romance without guilt.
But when did you figure that out?
In Tijuana, watching the strippers strip.
In the 1950s, Santana cut his teeth as a guitar player among the patrons and prostitutes in the strip joints on Tijuana's Avenida Revolucion.
You know, I started noticing that you play da 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 da, you know, like honky tonk, do 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 do, and the woman started walking just like da da da. I was like, oh.
Eventually, the young guitarist and his family migrated to San Francisco, where Carlos began to pattern himself after what he calls the magnificent American blues guitar masters. He says his influences included T-Bone Walker, B.B. King, Buddy Guy, and Chicago legend Otis Rush.
Otis Rush is just a pure voice of trueness. There's not one note on any record I ever heard where Otis Rush, it has any distance from his heart. The first time I saw Mr. Otis Rush, it gave me the confidence right there. It's time to leave your home. It's time to leave mom and dad and really become what you were born to do.
By the time he was 22, Santana had recorded his first album with the group that bore his name. It would be released in August 1969, just around the time the band played Woodstock. A lot of people don't remember that Santana was not an established band when you played Woodstock.
No, not at all.
The group's lack of stature would play a huge role in Carlos Santana's performance that day. It started when he was approached in the morning by a guitar-playing friend from San Francisco.
Jerry Garcia, he says, "What time are you going?" I says, "Oh, well, I think I heard that we're going 2 or 3 bands after you." He goes, "Well, man, you make yourself comfortable. Apparently, we're not going till like after 12 at night or something, you know."
So you didn't think you were going to play for all day, you know? You had a
so
whole
like,
day
you
to
know,
kill.
Especially because nobody knows us, so we're going to be at the mercy wherever they put us, you know.
Garcia, he says, offered him some hallucinogens to help kill the time. But no sooner had the drugs kicked in than a call came from the stage.
They said, "You got to go on now. If you don't play now, you're not going to play at all." So I trust that God is present and He's going to give me what I request. Please keep me in time. Please keep me in tune. I'll never do this again, I promise.
And what happened?
It was kind of like a wrestling match.
Were you hallucinating while you played?
Totally.
Santana says his guitar turned into an electric snake, twisting and turning as he played, while the music took a path of its own.
I mean, look, you hear the sound, it's over here. And then it comes down through here, through your fingers, in the pickup of the guitar, through a wire that goes to this PA out there, and it goes like that to the people, like an ocean of people, and then it comes back.
Woodstock helped change everything for Carlos Santana. Soon came a string of hits that reads like a rock and roll Hall of Fame playlist. Black Magic Woman, Evil Ways, Oye Como Va, No One to Depend On. But then, influenced by listening to jazz artists, including his friend Miles Davis, Carlos wanted to go in a different direction. With the band's 4th album, Caravanserai, he began exploring music with a decidedly spiritual bent. And that was extraordinarily sophisticated music, but not nearly as commercially viable music as Evil Ways or Black Magic Woman.
Exactly.
Were people in the music business telling you, "Carlos, you're not going to have the hits, man. You're not going to be on the radio"?
Everybody, Clyde Davis, Bill Graham, my mom, everybody.
Even your mom?
Even my mom says, "Mijo, you know, why are you going this way? Musically, why does it have to be so extreme?" And I says, "Mom, even I don't know. All I know that I have to follow my heart."
In the ensuing decades, Carlos Santana followed his heart all the way from mere star to legend in his adopted country. You got the Kennedy Center honors, and you were introduced by Harry Belafonte.
Well, I tell you, folks, there's no two ways about it. We've got to do something about Mexican immigration. Every day, You have people like Carlos Santana coming into this country and taking the jobs that should be going.
You know, life is so delicious for this Mexican over here, man. That's one of the things that I'll always treasure, you know, in my compartment of accomplishments.
Those accomplishments are legion, but what impresses most on this occasion is the optimism he's maintained, an optimism born over 3 days half a century ago.
So many people are cynical, I think, 50 years after Woodstock, about the Woodstock Nation, about peace and love. You don't seem to have a shred of that about you. When you look at this, what do you see?
Woodstock signifies we can coexist with unity and harmony, with grace and elegance, and yeah, being funky too. If people want to say, oh, them freaking hippies, man, they get on my nerves. Well, you know what? We were so glad that you were not at Woodstock. Because at Woodstock, whatever we had, whether it was just granola, we shared it. And if you feel that hippies are like kumbaya, bunch of whatever, it's okay. You keep yourself with that frequency. Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King, or, you know, all the guys who people call kumbaya people, you know, they're my heroes.
Because
kumbaya.
people say that critically, or they say it cynically, kumbaya people.
Yeah, and I'm aware of that, you know. But I always tell them, kumbaya will always kick your ass from here to eternity and back. Because kumbaya is here to stay.
One of New York City's newest art centers, The Shed, is currently featuring a performance piece rooted in a unique type of dance called Flexin'. But to its creators and practitioners, Flexin' is far more than simply a dance style. NewsHour Weekend's Yvette Feliciano has our story.
Dancer and choreographer Reggie "Reg Rock" Gray's new show at The Shed called Maze, created with co-director Kaniza Shawl, is steeped in a dance style that Gray helped develop in the 90s called Flexin'. He says the name came from Flex in Brooklyn, a former public access show that he and his crew danced on.
We didn't even dub it Flexin' like the youth did. We go to Chinese restaurants and they'll be like, hey, like, you guys, you the Flexin' guys. And I'm like, what is that? You know?
Flexin' takes the full-body twisting of the Jamaican dance style bruck-up and hones it into moves known as pausin', gliding, and bone breaking. Gray says that these moves help dancers dramatize their own stories and surrounding issues of social justice. For example, one scene in Maze recreates the 2014 police shooting of Laquan McDonald in Chicago.
One officer begins shooting. He immediately sinks to the ground, and the video clearly shows I sink to the ground.
It's not just entertainment, it's more self-expression. And I think that's where it kind of starts to really get its form from.
As Flexin' became more mainstream, appearing in music videos, movies, and commercials, Gray and his dancers began touring the US and the world. They caught the attention of The Shed's artistic director, Alex Poots, who wanted to help increase Gray's impact.
Reggie hadn't really had a creative team around him before. He'd done it all on his own, pretty much. And so, to me, it seemed important to offer him that support.
The Shed, which just opened this year, commissioned Gray and his dancers to develop not just a Flexin' performance, but a program called FlexNYC to bring the art form to more than 500 New York City students in 20 schools and community centers. The students, mainly from underserved communities, range from 5 to 19 and receive free classes from Gray's dance troupe all school year long. Gray says the program gives kids a creative outlet.
When I go to some of the schools to check them out, they'll, some of them will be having a hard day, and then they'll go through, hey, I'm not having a good day, but can I dance this out real fast? It's been part of their way to get through the everyday struggles of just being a kid,
Two of those kids are Emmanuel Hernandez, 16, and Ebony Sexius, 17, who attend Landmark High School in Manhattan.
They would give us like fake homework to build up the lesson for the following week. Like, oh, whatever happens around you during the weekend, come back and tell us a story.
That's interesting that you call it fake homework. That sounds like homework. Real homework. Is it because it's more fun than regular homework?
And when you go to class and they tell you, oh, go home and practice, like, I'm already doing that.
Ebony Sexius says that FlexNYC helped her discover unknown abilities.
I'm not double jointed at all, but my teacher, Jason, he stretched me so much that I'm able to bone break now.
Go ahead and show me.
All right, it's like,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you see that? No.
Also say the program helped them deal with difficult issues. Hernandez composed a dance about his parents' troubled relationship, and Sexius composed one about the absence of some of her family members.
I am a crybaby, but I honestly never cried in front of my school before. So it's I just started crying before I even started dancing, because it's just the story behind it was really strong.
The new performance at the Shed features audience participation and live music from vocalists and drummers. And in addition to Gray's regular dance troupe, 2 FlexNYC students have been asked to perform, Ebony Sexius and Emmanuel Hernandez.
Since we were already working in the schools, it's why not? Why not just say, hey guys, come on out, let's have this experience.
There are all these dancers who you've been working with since they were babies, who have now been ushered into the company.
Absolutely.
And there's a way that incorporating the young people felt like this natural flow from the broader practice that Reggie and the company has created.
Both Hernandez and Sexius say that Flexin will always be a part of their lives, even after the show closes.
I've learned stuff about myself that I didn't know before. I've been able to connect with people that I've never known before. I've had a teacher that I never talked to come up to me and tell me, oh my God, that solo that you did was amazing. So I feel like I'll always dance to have those moments, so I can always carry those moments with me.
When somebody says come home, that's what it makes me feel like I want to take this with me in my future, just to make this keep going on for years and years, so it won't be forgotten.
This is PBS NewsHour Weekend, Sunday.
In international news, Guatemalans went to the polls today to elect their next president. Voters are deciding between conservative Alejandro Giammattei, former head of the country's prisons, and center-left candidate Sandra Torres, a former first lady. The winner will have to implement last month's agreement with the U.S., where Guatemala must offer asylum to migrants traveling through. It's an attempt to reduce the number of Central American migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. Both candidates have criticized the deal, which Guatemalan officials signed after the Trump administration threatened economic sanctions. In Jerusalem today, Muslim worshippers and Israeli police clashed at a major holy site, which has long been a focal point of Israeli and Palestinian conflict. Tens of thousands of Muslim worshippers were gathered for prayers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound for the first day of the Islamic holiday Eid al-Adha. The holy site is also known as Temple Mount to Jews. Because today was the Jewish holiday of fasting and mourning, Tisha B'Av, about 1,300 Jews came to the site with permission to enter. At least 14 Palestinians were injured in the clashes with Israeli police, according to a Palestinian ambulance service. Israeli authorities said 4 of its officers were injured. Norwegian authorities are investigating a shooting at a mosque yesterday as an attempted act of terrorism. One person was wounded. The alleged shooter, a Norwegian man in his 20s, is in custody. Police said the suspect expressed right-wing extremist views online. He's also a murder suspect after police found his 17-year-old sister dead at his home when they were investigating the mosque shooting. Evacuations continued in China today as Typhoon Lakima moved north along the country's east coast, causing heavy flooding and destroying homes. The storm, which made landfall yesterday, has killed more than 30 people, and at least 16 are missing. Thousands of flights have been canceled and rail service was suspended throughout the region. More than 1 million people have been relocated so far. We will have more on the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's apparent suicide on our website, pbs.org/newshour, and on the broadcast tomorrow. That's all for this edition of PBS NewsHour Weekend. I'm Sreenivasan. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
PBS NewsHour Weekend is made possible by Bernard and Irene Schwartz, Sue and Edgar Wachenheim III, the Cheryl and Philip Milstein family, the JPB Foundation, Rosalind P. Walter, in memory of George O'Neill, Barbara Hope Zuckerberg. Corporate funding is provided by Mutual of America, designing customized individual and group retirement products. That's why we're your retirement company. Additional support has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Be more PBS.